James was looking forward to seeing Sandor Clegane run tomorrow in Wetherby, but unfortunately tonight, Friday, you've made a decision that even though the horse is there, he won't run now.
Sure, it is awful disappointing for everyone there, for the owners and everything else, because this was the plan since he came back in to go there. And you wouldn't mind, you wouldn't go there 24 hours ago. He left yesterday morning at 9:30, and you wouldn't go if you knew the ground was quick. But unfortunately we were led to believe that it was good to soft, and that was the official going description. And that today hasn't turned out to be the case, because the majority of jockeys and whoever was there was like, it was fast ground.
I see there's several horses today and tomorrow that have been taken out as well, so it's the same case for everybody, that they think it's unsuitable compared to what they call the ground.
That's the frustrating part for trainers and everyone, and I understand it's human nature. It's a tough job, clerk of the course, not a simple job. I wouldn't like it myself when people ringing you and on you and you're dealing with weather forecast. Now, it's not easy, but it was a dry forecast. So you'd imagine for the big meeting of the year, Charlie Hall, Chase Day and all the rest, you would imagine that they'd have been producing proper jumping ground. This is jump racing we're talking about. If it was Galway or anything else, like in the middle of the summer, well, you already have a summer horse in training that's going to run on proper good ground. But this is winter racing. We're into the proper stuff now, and look, every trainer's the same. It's no different, and it's disappointing, especially when you've travelled over there. It'll be different if you were gone an hour down the road, but look, that's life. You just move on now and get on with it.
So talking about the horse now then, that looked like the ideal seasonal reappearance race form, grade 2, 3 mile hurdles, everything's ideal. Why are you going back over hurdles after a season of novice chasing?
Look, I suppose, you know, being honest about it, we were probably a little bit disappointed last year after a horse that was the novice hurdler he was. We probably expected more. We probably made a few mistakes along the way. But, you know, you would have to be honest if you were outside looking in, and you would say some days that he's jumping left a little bit to be desired. Even though he's loads of scope and all the rest of it, maybe he was a tad careful. So look, we said we'd start back over hurdles and see where that takes us, and this would have been an ideal starting point, but that's over now.
Anything else in mind?
And not now, as this is the plan for starters. Like, I mean, here in Ireland it's not easy. We don't have much choice for staying hurdlers really. The Lismullen hurdle now in a few weeks time in Navan, it's only 2.5 miles. And he wants further than that. 3 miles in Leopardstown at Christmas is your next race here. You don't have anything. Then you have the Galway. Very, very little in Ireland for that type of horse. So we'll have to have a look at the English calendars again now and see where he could go back to over there. Obviously there's the staying race in Newbury, and obviously there's Ascot and all those races. So we'll have a look at and keep an open mind now. We've no plan yet, Dave, and we won't rule out going back over fences throughout the year either. You know, maybe come the springtime, maybe something like an Irish National or something, you wouldn't know.
And you'd imagine he's very well handicapped over fences.
Possibly, if he could get it all together, but maybe a couple of runs back over hurdles, or maybe starting back that way could give him the confidence that he needs to maybe then chip up somewhere, let it be at some of the festivals, then come next spring for one of the good races. And
last season, obviously, the 5 runs he had over fences, when you look back, his last 2 runs over hurdles, he was just touched off in an Albert Bartlett hurdle, and then after that then he followed up with a very comfortable success at Punchestown Festival. So, you know, when you look at the hurdles form, he has some great form there, isn't he?
He does. His Albert Bartlett run was obviously very, very good, and he was third in the grade 1 before he went there. And he's a good horse, and his own right, and everything else. Last year was disappointing. There's no point saying anything else. But look, we've changed a few things with his training. I'd be delighted with the way he is. He's working well. He's in good nick. He looks trim. He looks fit. He looks well. So look, we'll get him home now tomorrow night, and we'll make a new plan Monday.
Last week in Galway, you ran a mare called Rock On Boy. She was making her racecourse debut. She had a point-to-point run where she fell at the last in Linkstown when there was 3 of them upsides. Very impressive winner, and I know you weren't surprised by that either.
No, I'd say when we got upsides Willies there at the furlong pole, you normally don't win. You know yourself, there's Willies stats and bumpers and everything else, and I'm led to believe that they thought a fair bit of her, and she looked a good filly too. They looked 2 good fillies. But look, Dennis Murphy is the one to praise there. Dennis is the one that that had said all along that she was a very, very good filly, and so we got a deal done for her there not so long after she had fallen, because he had high the praise for her and he was bang on. She wouldn't show you much at home. All she does is eats and sleeps and goes out and does what she's asked to do every day. But when you take her away from home, and again, Dennis had warned me about that. I remember ringing him. She was back in train there with us there. I remember ringing one night to say, I'm not seeing a whole lot here. But he said, you don't worry about that, just wait till you take her away. And when you go away from home, then that's when she's a different filly. But, she makes it easy to get up in the morning. That's what I think the type that she could go on to be. Okay. She's something to really look forward to.
It's funny that you had a mare many years ago that had that similar profile, where she used to be at the back of the string and no one really knew what she was, Golden Sunbirds.
That's right.
And then when she got to the track, then she absolutely lit up to a completely different horse.
That's right, and I'd say you won a bumper on her, did you?
I did.
Yeah.
She must have been good
then.
She was good.
But she was a good mare, very good mare.
Remember, she used to be last.
Right.
Steph used to ride her, and no one used to think anything of her at all.
Yeah, she was just go through the motions. Yeah. But when she get on the sod, she was a different mare. Similar type in this one. But look, we'll let her do the talking now. She'll stay bumpering for the season. We had said if she'd win in Galway, that's what she would do. She wouldn't go hurdling. She's a lovely filly, and that's what she'll do now. She'll go for the good races, and hopefully she can pick up one of them. And we'll leave it till next year to go novice hurdling. But she's very exciting.
The Grade 2 Mayor's Bumper Dublin Racing Festival in February is obviously an ideal target, but surely you're going to have to find something before that.
It's a long time away. But in a couple of weeks' time, there's a listed Mayor's Bumper in Navan. But for me, I think it's too early in the season, because if you take the winter racing kind of gets going around now, and it's on straight away, where the Geldings Bumper in Navan, that's a similar stature to that, is not on until December. I think the fillies one is a little bit too early. But it's coming too soon for her. 3 weeks is too soon for a 4-year-old filly, in my opinion, after winning in Galway in a bumper like that. So there's nothing for her at home then, other than running against the Geldings to run on any of the good tracks, and we're not going to do that. It's a long time till the Dublin Festival, so at the moment we're going to give consideration. There's a listed bumper in Huntington on Peterborough Chase there around the first week of December, and it splits the difference between the times. So if she's well and healthy and well, we might go to Huntington. Okay. And see how we go there, and then maybe come back to Leopardstown then.
Plenty of young horses that have come from the point-to-point fields. Is there anything in particular that stands out on homework?
There's a few nice horses. There is. We have a nice bunch of horses. Obviously, we're very lucky to have fantastic support from our owners. But there's some very nice horses there. But like yourself, is the proof in the pudding is in the eating, and her winning last weekend is good because there's some nice fillies there as well that have done some good work together, and hopefully there's going to be more than her within the bunch, but there is something to look forward to. Yeah.
Tough time for the yards and other owners in the yards with the passing of Phil Byrne, who was obviously a very close friend, but a wonderful owner and very loyal to yourself and Paul from a long time now.
It is. Other than her father dying a couple of years ago, I don't remember anything hitting us as hard in the yard because it's so sudden. He was with us more than 20 years. We had great times together, plenty of winners, and he had bad horses and good horses. And the one thing I said about Phil at his funeral, anyway, talking to anybody, never once did myself or Paul have one crossword with him. He never once put you under pressure. He never once complained about a bad runner. He'd nearly be consoling you. He'd nearly be apologising to you for his horse running bad at the races. He was different gravy, and he's a big loss to our place.
Yeah, not to dwell on all bad news as well, but Alistair Down, who I know you knew today, huge loss to obviously his family, his friends, but to horse racing. Somebody who came across as so, it's just his way of words. Jeez. It was just whether you read or listened to him. It was the way he was able to put words together. It was an art, really, wasn't it?
It was. I don't read much, but anytime there's something of Alistair Downs to read, you'd read from start to finish. I thought he was brilliant, and he was brilliant when he was on Channel 4. He was brilliant on telly, brilliant voice. I thought and a lovely man as well. Lucky to meet him a good few times socially and racing or whatever else, and it was very, very sad to hear it. Again, a massive loss to racing, and a genius at what he done.
Yeah. Well, listen, well done with the mare last week. Hopefully you find something for Sandor Clegane in the coming weeks, and very best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Dave.